All right, today we're going to talk about armor inserts for backpacks. Now, this is something that you might be interested in for yourself, armor inserts for your briefcase, something like that, or maybe for your kids when you send them to school. You know, a lot of people are talking about active shooter response. What can we do? How can the average person be better prepared to defend themselves? Well, obviously, kids aren't going to be carrying guns to school. Carrying guns might not even be the best answer. We might be thinking about how we protect ourselves, particularly on gun-free zones. Now, I've flown with this particular Premier body armor panel. I've gone through TSA, flown on commercial aircraft, never been asked about it, had it in a backpack, not this backpack in particular, but had it in my backpack where I carry my laptop and everything else. So what's important to understand about the Premier body armor is that it was designed from exactly the same materials and exactly the same way that normal ballistic soft body armor is manufactured for law enforcement officers. And in fact, this company really primarily does work for law enforcement officers. So Premier body armor is a company that really had to ask themselves the question, how do we prepare for personal defense? How do we help other people be prepared that aren't in the law enforcement community? And I'll tell you, this has been an issue that's a little bit touchy. Do we want to commercially sell armor for civilian use? Because obviously, bad guys get their hands on this too, just like they get their hands on guns or any other tool. Well, this is just a tool, and it's a very good asset for civilians, for kids going to school, in fact, and it really came from law enforcement officers asking Premier body armor, hey, that's great, I've got this vest that I wear when I'm working every day, but what about my kids when I send them to school? And Premier body armor stepped up and started doing insertable panels. Now, this is a small panel. This is an NIJ-tested panel. That's the standard that we use for our law enforcement officers, standard we use for all ballistic protection here in the US and the National Institute of Justice. This is a level 3A. Now, you can go online and take a look at what all the different designations mean, but here's the thing. I'm going to put this in this bag, and in the front of this bag, I just have some other things a prepared person might have, right? I've got some mail about my retirement investments. I've got some information, some magazines. These are the kind of things somebody might have, or kids might have, paperwork, things like that in their school bag. We're going to put that on. These are ballistic gel blocks. If you aren't familiar with them, ballistic gel blocks are designed to help us simulate what bullets do inside of human tissue. Should the round get through here, then we want to see, exactly what's going on. Now, it is important to note, by the way, that you are supposed to wear one side of this up against your body. This isn't designed to be free floated. It's designed to be inside of the bag. And then what you would do is you just, active shooter situation, let me bring it to the front of my body and wear it like this. Now I've got the panel. Now, if I were really carrying a bag of this size, I'd have one of the larger panels. This, of course, is a bag that's designed to actually have a quick access to a defensive firearm or a defensive, even collapsed or folded rifle in this case. So if you're the kind of person who gets prepared, this might be the kind of bag you carry, and you might want to put armor in there. So now you've grabbed your rifle or your pistol or whatever it is out of here, and you put this on like a vest. Now you're wearing it this way. So to simulate that, we're going to go over our t-shirt. We're going to come in here. I'm just going to kind of stretch these straps around. I'm going to get about 21 feet away, and we're going to shoot into the backpack where that panel is and take a look and see what happens. Now, the round that I'm using is a 9mm jacketed hollow point. This is a 9mm jacketed hollow point, and it's a plus P round. This is a powerful round, and we're going to shoot it at relatively close range, and we're going to take a look and see what happens here. So, got my eyes and ears, and lock that open. We'll take a look. We've got the round going into the bottom of the bag here. I want to try to save as much of this panel as possible. And take a quick look. No exit, so that's a good sign. We'll pop this open. And sure enough, right through my mail, through a couple magazines, as we would expect. And then we come back here into this panel, and we see no exit. Now, we do see a little bit of a bulge. We see no indentation, actually, nothing really there. And if we look at the back of this bag, there's absolutely no proof or evidence that that's been shot through. So when we see this panel, again, relatively inexpensive panel, something you might think about having for your kids, this absolutely is something that's going to stop bullets. Now, we're going to try some other things. We're going to put multiple rounds in here. We're going to shoot some different rounds, some different calibers, but that hollow point bullet is contained entirely within here. There's not much deformation. Even if this is right up against the skin, certainly there's going to be some bruising, there's going to be some impact, but the idea is that we have gone ahead and stopped the bullet. We've stopped that threat from being effective. And if you had a tool, or if you were evading, maybe you were wearing it on your back and you were moving away from the threat, this is going to keep you alive. It's going to keep your kids alive in school. Take a look at what Premier Body Armor has to offer when it comes to the ballistic protection to protect yourself in an active shooter situation from being hurt. And really, that's the key. Even if you have a concealed carry firearm and you're going to respond, you need to make sure you're not getting shot and taken out of the fight before you can respond in that way.